Okay.
So last week, someone was really upset over me talking about crate. The crate antics. Now, let's be clear. She wasn't kind about it, so I don't think she's on our page anymore. But
no.
Let's be really
clear. No sarcasm.
No.
Okay.
There's no sarcasm.
Okay.
That the dog we were talking about with Tara was a dog that was being kind of bratty and insolent and... is that the word?
I don't know if she used insolent, but it's a good word.
But it's a good word and kind of like, I don't want to... So there's like... what we do is we say, no, you're going to go in there.
Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. And then we bring them out and we do those reps over and over and make it so it's easy for the dog to actually do it.
And the dog gets desensitized and doesn't care about going in. But I think what you were getting at was that sometimes it's messy. And we were talking about, because Tara was like, sometimes it's not, they don't go in so easily.
Yeah.
And so what we wanted to make sure we clarified was that, even for us, it's not always super clean. And sometimes it's messy and dogs are resistant and reluctant. Yeah. And you were having a little fun with it.
I had a little fun and said something about smacking the dog on the butt. It's by no means a hit, a beat, a smack.
You're just being playful. You're being playful.
But it has nothing to do with actually like, oh, I'm going to strong arm you. I don't really have that stuff.
I think for somebody who hasn't seen the show before, isn't familiar with us, or hasn't seen any of our stuff, and then they stumble onto this and they see this wild woman over here talking about like, stuff that dog in there and then smack his behind.
But we've had talks about dogs that are really sensitive and sweet and really fearful of the crate. We've had talks about putting them in the crate and doing it in a whole different way, desensitizing them to it and using food and all this stuff. So what we were talking about was a specific dog. Not every dog needs that, like, come on, Charlie, let's go.
No, a lot of dogs, like Laura's saying, are really sensitive. And of course, it makes sense to use sensitive light pressure with them, guide them in. The whole point of like good dog training is mirroring the dog in front of you, right?
Yeah.
So if you got a dog who's really, really resistant to it and you use light pressure, you're just going to get more resistance. Now that doesn't mean like slamming the dog or anything like that, but it does mean using enough pressure to where the dog's going to go in so he can give in to what you're asking. So I think Laura had a little fun with it. The lady wasn't familiar with us, and I think you said smack him on the rear playfully. I know what you're talking about. I've seen you do it with Hercules. And then I was saying that if they try and come out, that you slam the crate. The crate door on the snout. And I'm going to be real honest. I mean, that's how we do respectful crate behavior. Do not come charging out of that crate. And if you're somebody who's really, really like soft with all this stuff, or you've never worked with challenging dogs or dogs that will push your buttons or dogs that can be dangerous, then that might seem really like excessive to you. But all the dogs, this is really important, all the dogs that come here and go through crate stuff and all the arguments about like, well, if they go in like that, it's a negative experience and they're going to fear the crate. Every single one of these dogs, I do last potty break, I open the crate door, they zoom right in, they zoom right out. So
I'm happy to do it. And the reality is that crate training saves a dog's life. So we're not just talking about crate training because we just want control. You have dogs that are eating the couch, eating, things they shouldn't be eating.
Other dogs.
Getting out of the house. Like, these are all reasons why we do crate training, is because dogs go to the vet, $5,000 vet bill, if they even survive eating, whatever they shouldn't be eating or ingesting, or breaking out, or being super stressed and anxious the whole day, pacing the floor because there's dogs barking outside.
Yep.
You put them in a crate, you get them used to a crate, and they're like, this is my spot. And sometimes, just like anything, you have to put forth a little bit of not so fun stuff to get to the fun stuff. And for us, the fun stuff is them being safe, surviving, and not being stressed and anxious when we're gone or overnight. So that's why we're like, all right, a little on the rear. Good one.
With that whole big thing, now that we have to dig ourselves out because, we have people like boycotting outside the house here and people with torches and like coming up. So do you want to announce to everybody?
Hi, B.
Oh, sorry. Britt, do you want to pop on and say hi? Just come on over here. You want to answer some questions?
After a hot walk and like
just come on and say hi.
That's our
See ya.
girl.
That's it.
Bye.
Have fun at your gender reveal.
Party.
Thank you. It's not mine.
It's Brittany's gender
No.
reveal party.
Whoa, Claire.
Whoa. Let's go back.
Have fun.
Have fun. Drive safe. Okay, guys. Well, the big question.
What is the big question? Hey everybody, it's Sean from The Good Dog, and this is the lovely and maybe with dog, Laura Morgan. She's going to a canine reveal party later on. And this is The Good Dog's Q&A, episode number, this one I can do, 44. Right, that was an easy one, right?
That was good.
Awesome. So a quick little check-in on stuff cooking. Cujo came in today. The guy, Cujo.
This morning.
Laura's.
Enrique's sitting over there smug.
Yes.
He smiled and waved like we have a crew here. That's gonna, like pan over to him.
Camera 3, catch Enrique.
Exactly.
So we'll have to catch
we'll
that
talk
later.
to it, yeah.
So Enrique is down here. He flew out from Savannah, Enrique?
Yeah.
He flew out from Savannah, Georgia.
Georgia.
And
That's where I was born. But
yeah, that's right. You're a Georgia Peach, right?
Georgia Peach.
And he and Cujo got curled up in
Braved.
some tight confines.
Braved the middle seat.
And did some pretzel action and made it out this morning. And so it's been a long wait for you. You must be so excited.
I'm so excited. But I'm thinking about tonight. I'm like, this is going to be, it's like bringing home a new child.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It's a lot. So we'll figure it out.
Okay. Yeah. So Enrique was nice enough to bring out Cujo, and Enrique is also spending the week with us shadowing and following us all around, excuse me, and learning all of our deep, dark secrets of dog training expertise here.
We also have Janine shadowing.
We also have Janine, and Camera 3 will catch her in a moment as well. Janine's hiding out over there, out of eye shot. So we got 2 shadows. We got a new dog, the Cujo-matic, and he just met all of our guys.
Yep.
And no bloodshed.
Fine. No bloodshed.
Everybody's good.
He just peed on everything.
He's Sir Marks a lot. He really, really did like it. Wait till he gets to that apartment of yours.
Oh no.
He's like, I'm gonna make that mine.
Don't worry.
No.
Don't laugh.
You're gonna have to put a diaper on him.
Just wait. That e-collar.
One last thing before we jump into the show. Just want to give you guys a quick heads up. I posted a picture today of me up early in the morning working on the new book. We are working this book as a partnership, as we always work on our projects. Laura has done like kind of the hard initial sifting and going through like the millions of posts.
You did the hard work of doing all the millions of
yeah, well, I mean, but that's, so that was what it was, but then you went through and like pulled all the stuff that you felt was relevant, and so Laura's done kind of the first rough, and now I'm going through those and like doing the secondary, but the stuff's looking great. She's been going around to all of our clients that with past dogs we've worked with, not all of them, but a lot of them, and taking really fabulous pictures, like capturing the awesome spirit of these dogs. And so it's going to be not just a philosophical book that's going to be hopefully the bridge for humans to better understand their behavior and how it affects their dogs and so on, but also something really fun and cool to look at with like really gorgeous pictures and stories. I think we're going to include little stories with those dogs, those dogs that have come through and where they're at now and how they're doing and all that. So it'll be little updates as well, but I'm really excited for this to be a book that you could go pull a dog out of a rescue or out of a shelter, get this book, hopefully before you get the dog, read it, and have a really good handle on what to do and what not to do. So that's super exciting. DVD real quick, editing, second edits are going on.
Yep.
We swear it's coming, guys. Just sit tight, and it'll be in your hot little hands before you know it.
Yep.
And with that,
all right. Question number 1.
yes.
This is from Kelly. Kelly says, reactivity to other dogs seems to be my serious problem now. Been working with my 2 male boxer pit mix and female pitty with prong and e-collar for a few weeks now, and they're awesome both off-leash and on structured walks as long as there's no other dogs in sight. For this reason, I only take them to places I won't run into any people, which are dogs, because it sucks It sucks because I'd love to take him in public.
Yeah.
My pit makes the most god-awful high-pitched noises that sets my male off even more. Not only is it annoying, but it's extremely embarrassing. These are two very strong dogs, and I'm beginning to lose confidence I've gained these last few weeks. I think you guys are the best.
Aw.
Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly. That's awesome. So don't give up.
Yeah.
Great work. Hard working with tough, you know, two big dogs with reactivity stuff. So I think she's got them both on prong and e-collar, correct?
Yep.
So one of the things that we strategically that we'll do with dogs that have reactivity stuff is start by, whether it's threshold or the very beginning of heel or the first dog that they see, will go really high on the e-collar at the split second for, you know, so like high correction, small infraction, and set the tone when the dog's mind is in a much lower state of arousal. If you wait too long and your dogs start to get worked up, you're kind of toast. And that's usually the issue. It's usually a timing issue that causes people not to be able to keep their dogs at a manageable state, right? So whether it's the threshold and you walk up to the threshold and one of your dogs blows by just a tiny bit, boy, that's the time to let them know you want to fight that battle right there at the threshold. You want to fight that battle and say, boys, this is non-negotiable, and mom's going to kick some rear.
Yeah.
So for me, we've had a lot of success with clients with reactivity stuff, setting that tone early on, like I said, small context, big correction. So threshold, dog moves by you, boom, say you correct at 20 normally for dog reactivity, this might be a 60 or a 70, which sounds excessive, but the whole point is so you don't have to correct a million times on the walk. So that correction's really valuable. The mind is clear of the dog gets all of the information without having to work through all of the, you know, adrenaline hormones and everything else rushing through the dog's brain that causes the dog not to be able to process the information, right? Once the dog's exploding, you can correct as high as you want, and the dog's not going to get the information and process it. But if the dog does the tiniest little moment of the same flavor and you nail them for that, they go, right? Like, bomb went off. Oh my God, bomb went off when I didn't pay attention, when I was a little disrespectful, when I started to alert at that dog, right? So I'd go for threshold, heel, or the first glance at a dog. And the first time it happens, any one of your dogs, nail them at a really firm level, right?
Yeah.
Once again, it sounds unfair, but it's really your only opportunity, it's your gateway in to get state of mind into a good spot before they start to elevate and get aroused, and when you will kind of lose. Then I just want to explain really quick, so our reactivity approach, to make sure you're doing that, because you didn't want to write us War and Peace. So I'm not sure what exactly your approach is with reactivity, but make sure you're using space, which I'm sure you are because you've been watching us. Use enough space to where you can be successful with your dogs, dependent on the dogs coming towards you. So if you got barkers, crazy, snotty ones, give yourself more space. Calm, sedate, relaxed dogs, you can probably use less of a bubble around them. But you decide. If you need to be across the street to start to be successful, be across the street. There's no shame in that. Just get a toehold and get it started, right? So space, dependent upon the dog that you've got, and then correct early. How do I write? I wrote it down. Earlier, higher, or higher, earlier, you know, basically is kind of where I would want you to go with that. And then another opportunity or another possibility is to go out and work one dog at a time, which I know in practicality sense can be a pain because like most of us are working, and like getting one dog out at a time for walks individually can be really hard for people time-wise. But if you're really determined to knock this out, getting one dog at a time in a great space and then slowly integrating the two could be a juicy proposition. And the last thing I'll close with is that you might, if you try all this other stuff and it's like, man, we're still struggling and we're getting a lot of vocalization from this pity, a dominant dog collar, which you can get off learberg.com, might be a better choice than a prong collar for you, even though I always talk about prong collars. So this is, and I'll try and be super quick with this. Get a dominant dog collar. It's supposed to be sized nice and snug. You'll have to go by their charts to get one that's the right fit for your dog. You'll hook your leash to it, and then you have the e-collar on as well. And then if your dog starts to light up, you're doing all the right stuff, you've done everything I just said, and he still starts to elevate, then you just take your leash and you just apply light pressure up. And you're not trying to lift your dog off the ground. What you're doing is you're just applying this light pressure up, and you want it to become uncomfortable, and then you want it to slowly cut the air a little bit to where your dog goes I'm just going to relax, right? So whereas some of these other pressure sources, e-collar, prong collar, things like that, can elevate and lift the dog up, the dominant dog collar tends to almost always take the dog down. So that's another option to have on your list. Like Laura's polar bear, she couldn't walk him on a prong because the prong would make him, even if you weren't correcting him, would make him nutso.
Yep.
But a dominant dog collar and e-collar was your mojo.
Yep.
That was really what
That's the
worked
way
for
to go.
you.
Yep.
So that is the answer. Sorry it was a long one, but I wanted to make sure she got all the stuff she needed. Thanks.
Good luck, Kelly.
Thanks. So yeah, let us know. Let us know what works, what doesn't, how you get through it, all that good stuff. Keep us posted. You could also send us videos too.
Yeah, we're down with videos. Thanks.
Cool. All right, so this question's from Lindsay.
This is question number 2 from Lindsay. Lindsay O'Brien says, I have 2 dogs and a 110-pound black lab mix and a 70-ish pound
big lab.
German short-haired pointer, and I was wondering what type of 2-dog training e-collar system you would recommend. Also, I was wondering when you guys deviate from the normal prong collar size of 3 millimeter for something smaller or bigger, and what website do you recommend for buying all these products? Lindsay?
Careful.
Thanks for any and all help. You guys are lifesavers.
Lindsay, I'm much more accommodating. She get a little testy. All right,
No,
so
Lindsay, it's fine. 3 for 1, especially these.
She's calling you out too.
These types of questions are fine because they're short answers. So
right.
I get it.
If they get long and it makes the show long, then you're toast. Okay,
Just
so.
saying.
So here's the deal. We recommend e-collar technologies. You can go to, what is the website?
ecollar.com.
ecollar.com. That's super easy. We pretty much use the Mini, the Educator Mini exclusively with 99% of the dogs that we have here. Sometimes we'll use the Boss. Laura's using the Pro, which is a fancy pants version.
We also have the Educator Easy Educator, which is a 2-dog system.
Which I don't think is easy.
Oh, you don't?
It's just,
because you don't know it.
Yeah, and I'm simpleton. I like things to be really easy. Yeah. There's too many buttons and variations.
If you are a simpleton like our friend here, you can get the Educator 302, which is 2-dog system. Just really simple. The buttons are like red and black, and the collars are red and black. And
don't be condescending. Don't be condescending.
Or you can get the Easy Educator, which is a different kind of
it's like
remote.
A no pull harness. It's a lie.
No, it is more complicated, but it's kind of more fun if you get techie and geeky. So those are the ones we recommend.
So go to once again, right? So the 302 Mini. Right, 302 Mini Educator is the one that I would probably recommend. We use them for even big dogs. The receiver's really small, which is cool, so it's not this big giant thing on your dog. You could also do the Easy, like Laura mentioned,
or the Pro,
the Uneasy, or you could do the Pro. And you've got the Pro, and you really dig it.
I love it.
I think a lot of people love it.
Yeah, I love the remote. I love all the
different size, different shape. Do you have to order a second collar? How does that go?
No, you can get a double dog. Just order a double dog.
Double dog Pro?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yep,
okay, and then as far as the prong collar stuff goes, we use the 2.5 Herm Springer for small dogs, like really pretty darn small dogs, up to like not so small dogs. How's that for clarity? And then for medium to large dogs, we use the 3.0. And we don't really use anything bigger than the 3.0. We just put more links in it. For teeny tiny ones, you can get one of the micro prongs. I know Learberg sells micro prongs, and I think so does Pet Edge or something like that.
I would just go, if you're doing a 3 millimeter now and you're using e-collar mainly on your dog and you want to go with the 2.25 so there's less stuff going on the neck, less real estate taken up by the prong because you're using it as a secondary backup, that's what you should do.
So, I'll finish what I said here. All dogs in our board and train go home on a 2.25, right? She's stealing my thunder. So, just to be clear, so if you're doing strictly prong work with a dog, I would recommend, if they're a medium to large dog, I'd recommend the 3.0. We like the way that feels better. We feel there's too much give in the 2.25 with bigger dogs. But when dogs go home from our board and train, they're all on e-collar, and the 2.25 is great because, like Laura said, takes up less real estate, and we're only using it for backup kind of safety in case like a squirrel or cat goes running by and you've got better control of your dog. So,
and then the final question, ecollar.com for those e-collars and dog.com for the prong collars.
Nice work, lady. Good. You stole my thunder a little bit, but I recovered.
I'm just trying to like keep the show moving.
You
Try
need-
not to circle. Try not to do the circle. Okay?
No condescending. Come on.
I'm just saying. Question number 3.
Yes.
This is from Lauren. Lauren says, how can a disabled person deal and teach calm leash walking, whether mobility impaired, wheelchair, or crutches? Good question.
Yeah, this sounds like a job for my assistant with the answer to this issue. Well, look at that.
No, why would you ever do that?
I don't know. Looks like it's a good time for you to fancy pants it up. You seem to have all the answers today, so right, just jump on in. No, I actually already had this written. This is an easy one for you.
How can a disabled person teach calm leash walking? E-collar.
Yeah.
It really is
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And they're actually, Greg from E-collar Technologies, we had a deal, we had something where someone was in a wheelchair and couldn't hold the remote and
Yeah.
do their wheelchair at the same time. So he actually made a special remote. And I don't
Did
know
he
if
make it?
ever, yeah, he basically like fashioned, like kind
Wow.
of fixed it up.
Wow.
Where she could hold it in her mouth. And like, I think there was just a little like thing she could bite on and
Right,
it would
trigger
actually
it.
like trigger it.
Wow.
Mhm. So I don't know if it's that kind of situation or if it's just if you just need like basic good leash walking. The e-collar is the way to go because you don't have to do any physical and no physicality. It's just teaching that e-collar heel to go right alongside of your wheelchair and then just little taps if the
Or
dog
like you
starts
said,
to-
crutches too. So
Yeah,
either way,
crutches, right.
like there's no way if you're in a wheelchair or with crutches
Right.
that you've got any leverage really. You're at a really compromised place to be able to control, especially if you have a bigger dog. So Laura's right on the money. E-collar heel is not that hard to teach,
Yeah.
and you can have a dog that's walking so nicely
Yep.
with zero. I mean, you could actually like with the wheelchair, you could tie the leash to your wheelchair
Yep.
and just run the remote. You wouldn't even have to hold the leash really, and keep the leash short and just do it like that.
Yep.
So hopefully that helps. Nice
Is
work,
that
lady.
okay for
You
you?
survived. You survived.
All right.
This is a prickly little show.
I'm not trying to be prickly at all.
I think it's a prickly show.
I think you're mad at me and there's resentment that's been built up and now
Really?
you're like, I'm just loving you with all my heart. I'm thrilled I have a dog.
What am I
I'm
angry
thrilled.
about?
I don't
Do we need?
know.
Maybe we need to talk about this. Maybe we need to
maybe-
like get rid of these questions and like ready. So let's. Or how about this?
Done.
How
We'll
about
have
this?
Enrique mediate.
All right. So tell me about when it started.
No. We'll have Enrique do that.
Okay.
Or Janine.
Okay.
Actually,
They're all-
Janine maybe, because Enrique will be like, buck up, son.
Take it like a man. Okay. So
All right,
so we've worked
question-
through our anger. We're good.
We?
See, that's but,
Well,
come
now
on. Let's
I'm
not be
getting
passive aggressive.
Now I'm resentful.
Right? Okay. Right, let's stop. When did you become passive aggressive? When did it
Janine.
start?
Help me.
All right.
I need a
So
woman's touch.
next question. This would be
Question number
Aaron.
4. Aaron.
Yeah. What?
Would you,
You
like
don't
this out,
say.
or would you like me to talk or what?
Wow.
No, this is our getting better.
Are we getting better?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm like,
I'd-
would you, I'm trying to
It's
be
give
like,
and take?
Yeah, give and take.
It feels snarky. A little snarky malarkey.
It's the way,
We'll let
way
the
my
people.
face
We'll let
looks.
the people decide.
Okay.
Right?
I just look
Everybody
that way.
who watches this, just hashtag
can-
snarky
No.
malarkey if you
You guys
agree.
are all gonna go on your side. I know how you act. All right. All of them say like, "Hey, Sean, you're the greatest," and then they ask their question. They're all gonna be like, hashtag snarky malarkey.
Yes.
All right, guys.
So let's hit up Aaron's question.
Question number 4.
Yep.
Aaron says, when working through dog reactivity, do you correct for staring and fixation?
Mm.
We're going through this issue with our 1-year-old, 130-pound Great Dane who is leash reactive.
Good grief.
We are e-collar training, and while she does not lunge or go after other dogs anymore, her intensity when looking at other dogs is still there. It's like she gets frantic to even see another dog.
Mm.
I'm not sure if we should be correcting this or if it'll go away on its own with further training.
Okay, Aaron. So
Leash
Yes.
reactive Great Dane.
Yeah, whew, saddle that baby up.
Yeah.
So, so absolutely you want to correct for staring or fixation, right? So the staring fixation, even if you're not getting explosions right now, it's still the dog loading, right? So if you think about your Dane walking down the street, sees a dog, and ears come up, forehead wrinkles, and you start to get all this stuff. It's not a relaxed dog. Your dog's not like drinking in the other dog. He's not feeling like, oh wow, there's a friendly neighborhood other dog right there. He's thinking naughty thoughts. He's, uptight. He's tense. He's whatever. So your job to advocate for him is to say, no, correct for the staring or fixation, get him back to relaxation. Excuse me, I mean, the whole concept of like correcting isn't to say like bad dog, bad dog. What it is like bad state of mind, correction, relaxed state of mind. That's really what you're shooting for. So if you don't correct at the stare and you don't correct at the fixation and you let that slide for too long and you get yourself into a pressure situation, like I said, your dog's loading and then all of a sudden, it's like, man, he's unpredictable. I don't know why he exploded today. He's been loading for a week and a half, So let's go after the staring until he can look at another dog in a gentlemanly, polite fashion, which may take a long time. Until he can do that, he shouldn't be looking at other dogs because, like I said, he's just loading.
Those big dogs, you just have to be a little bit... I'm actually speaking to myself right now.
Oh, okay.
Because of Cujo.
You just got a big dog. You're walking yourself through this.
I'm like, you got to be
These
really
big
tough
dogs.
on these big dogs.
Got to step up. Right?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like
So-
you have to because
Yeah.
they're just their size. They can overpower you, and so
The good dog, the good reason, wow, I can't speak. The cool thing is that your guy, Cujo, doesn't have any dog issues, so you're good. But hopefully that's clear, guys. So make sure the answer is unequivocally yes, correct for staring, and you'll hear other trainers that will contradict that or disagree. So, there's going to be different opinions out there, different philosophies on this, but it works really well for us, and we deal with probably every reactive dog that comes through LA. So we've got a lot of experience with it and it works really nice for us. So that's the recommendation. Cool.
let us know.
Yeah.
I would love videos, guys. Like if you want to Dropbox us stuff, we could put videos in Q&A Saturday. It'd be so fun to have this
love
is him
to.
before and this
I'd
is
love
him
to.
after. Like that would be awesome. We should do a contest. If we get some good before and after, this is good.
Yeah.
We're going to add this to the end. If we get good before and after from people that have just watched the show, we'll give you a free DVD.
Look at that. What if they already have it?
Well, then
They get a picture of Cujo?
we'll get a picture of me, my headshot from 2012. I had a friend. This is the funniest thing. It didn't even happen to me. I had a friend, her friend, for her birthday, handed her a gift, and my friend was like, we don't do gifts, and her friend's like, no, it's really no big deal, and she opened it, and they're comedians, so they do this stuff. She had made her a book, one of those picture books,
Yeah.
all her headshots.
Her own?
Yeah.
Not her friends, but
No,
her
not her
own. Yeah.
friends, her own. Like, I would hand you
Here's a book of
full
me.
of my
Here's a book of me. Enjoy me. These are
But you
some of my
guys-
best moments.
You guys could get a signed headshot. Like it may be me with like a baseball bat. Like when I was little, they used to make you do all the different.
Some of your
looks.
Barbie
Yeah.
times.
Oh, we could do
And
that.
get some of. Do you have headshots from back then?
Oh my gosh, do
Really?
I ever?
Okay. So, guys, you guys can decide on the prize you want.
They probably just want a picture of Cujo.
Probably.
All right.
All right. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Hey,
So
guest speaker
we
here.
have a guest
We got-
speaker. This is Enrique from dogworks.us. He's actually the one who brought Cujo over, so he's basically a hero around here.
Yes.
And he's going to help Sean answer this question. I feel so weird. I feel like I'm suspended from the ceiling. I'm like, yes.
Like Tom Cruise and
like a spy movie. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So Enrique does more like sport dog stuff, like more like you do protection work and like what?
dog
Give a
handler.
quick rundown of your
Yeah.
vast experience.
Give us your
just
resume.
come on,
Military police training, which fits exactly with this question: how to build drive in the dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to just rock and roll?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
We gotta have the question
Gotta have
first,
the
right?
question.
Yeah, I anticipated.
No, lean forward. They're not going to see you. Okay. Question number 5. Look at my little leg. Hopefully it goes. Question number 5. Do you have a special way to get your dog to become very interested in playing tug? Do you give your dogs toys to... Oh, this is from Richard. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Do you give your dogs toys to play with when they're on their own, or do you only allow them to play toys with you? What is your opinion on toys? Thanks. Richard, you're the bomb.
Personally, I like to play with toys.
Me too.
Yeah. But I mean, dogs are a different thing. So
Oh, yeah.
I'll defer to you
Yeah,
on
we'll
this.
We'll defer.
I love Legos and stuff.
Is this something that I should probably leave?
No, you
Is
can
this
stay right
awkward?
there.
Really?
No,
All
I
right.
think it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll let you know if it gets weird.
Because I'm feeling it weird. Hard.
All right, Enrique, time to let it rock.
I think like you were saying, some dogs have drives, some dogs don't, and
Yeah.
if your dog does not have that, ability or
Like
Kind of
Hercules.
built
yeah,
in, like
built in that just constantly go, then it'll be a little more challenging. It's not impossible, but it's just going to take a little longer. One thing that I found super useful for dogs that have struggles with that is flirt pole. Basically, you can make this at home. It's a broom, a rope, and another rope at the end.
Enrique has the best accent in the world, so I'm just going to say that word again. It's a flirt pole. Flirt
Ouch.
pole. No, there's no ouch. Enrique is...
it's sexy. Just
I'm
own it.
obsessed with
Right?
his accent.
It's sexy.
Say coyote.
Coyote.
right.
Okay. So, but just to be clear, it's a flirt pole.
Flirt
Okay.
pole.
All right.
Right.
Go ahead.
Don't be condescending.
No, I'm not.
And
I got her on the run.
one thing that we do in just the canine work is we hold the dog and we get him agitated by wanting to get the toy.
Like restraining him.
And we don't let him. And we keep pulling, and we keep raising our voices. It's kind of like the opposite. of
Yeah.
what you want to do with a
Yeah.
pet,
Right.
but obviously that's going to be able to drive
You're
up.
trying to build him up and get him all
Yeah.
excited. Yeah.
So
yeah.
the first
Like
few
dating.
times I don't let him have it.
Yeah.
Okay, I just got that.
It's like dating.
It's like dating.
It started with
You've had some
flirt
weird
pole.
dates,
No.
right?
I know. The first few times, don't let him have it. Let's build anticipation.
I told you.
Oh my
I know I
gosh.
get it. Go ahead. Sorry, Enrique.
Okay.
You stepped in it,
You
man.
just got it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. No, seriously, go.
And
Coyote.
goodness.
That's the safe word. That gets you out of this.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
And after a couple of times, once they're super pumped up, let them go and play tug with them as much as possible. Really, really pull, and then let them win. If you do that a couple of times, build it little by little. The first few times you're gonna have to take some time really pushing them in.
Does it matter, like, do you find, like, certain, like, toys or textures or things, like, the dog's more interested in?
I think it depends on your dog,
Yeah.
I know Cujo likes balls. Geez, okay.
Right?
She totally did. This is your
Yeah,
fault.
yeah.
Cujo,
Manny found that out when he was outside.
Cujo likes balls, and my other dog likes rope or likes the bite suit.
Yeah.
But you have to find the thing that your dog likes the most.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, another things you were mentioning, maintaining the toys for playtime only. If you have the toys laying around all day long,
They
it'll be
lose their
they'll lose-
fascination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love cheesecake, but if I had it every day, I will just.
Do you see?
Don't have it every
He said,
day.
if I had it every day. Yeah.
Was it Southern or was it Attitude?
No, it's like an Al Pacino Scarface thing.
Al Pacino.
If I had it every day, I wouldn't want it.
All right.
So getting back to toys, so Enrique's saying that you can build it, but there are some, like, I think there can be some genetic limitations, like Belle loves to play tug, Junior, not so much, Manny, you have to tug him off the couch. I mean, that's tug with Manny. So not every dog has got it. Maybe we could build it a little bit, but
Yeah.
it would be a 10-year project to get him to like tug.
It takes a little bit of time. I think the toys is one of them. Now that you mentioned, dogs are a lot either food driven or toy driven.
Yeah.
So if your dog is mostly food driven, then you can do a little combination of both. Kongs, you can stuff them with peanut
Oh,
butter.
true.
And one of the end of the Kong is bigger than the other, so
Yeah.
you can put a little rope at the end of it and put some food into it.
Yeah.
You can do a little mix of both.
Oh yeah. I'd play tug for that.
I would definitely
Right,
play tug
right.
with anything that had peanut butter.
So okay. So just to wrap this up, so those are some really good points. One thing I'd say is that if you have just a regular pet dog, try not to put too much pressure on the dog. If you've seen videos of dogs that are just tug crazy, and like you're seeing Maos or you're seeing Shepherds or whatever, and they're just like really going at it, and you've got just like a regular dog, he may not be or she may not ever be like that kind of intensity. So try not to put too much pressure on your dog if they just don't come with that kind of stuff. Like Junior will play like light tug, but he's just not. I just don't. I believe that there's just certain limitations about like built-in stuff.
Yeah,
but
what we want versus what they want.
Yeah. So and then as far as like my guys, you were asking about toys, and like with my life, we play every day. So after we get back from our walk and I work out real quick, then we do like a 30-minute little play thing with Belle. I'll throw the ball. She likes the ball and she likes tug, and so I use a sock, which is a very fancy apparatus. And so we use the sock. She loves to play tug, and I throw the ball for Junior. So those are like Junior doesn't really care about the tug, but he'll chase the ball. Belle likes both. She's actually pretty intense for the tug, for like a little pity, and then the toys go away. Once we're done, toys go away, and it's a good way, like Enrique said, to keep the intensity and the fascination and the novelty, but also to make sure that you don't have any guarding. If you've got multiple dogs in the house, you don't get yourself into a situation with any possessive issues or anything like that, or dogs scrapping over stuff that's been left out, which is an easy one to get into. A lot of owners like their dogs to have like toys so they can just like, I think all of us have seen that like dogs that have toys or like a giant toy basket, they don't give a crap about them, right? Because they're just out. And
cheesecake. Like the cheesecake
it's like the cheesecake. So I think some good points were brought up. See what you can get out of your dog. Get creative. Like Enrique said, you can do a flirt pole or a tug with some peanut butter and a Kong, and then put it away when you're done to where you can make sure that you maintain that interest and that fascination with it. I think that's pretty good, right?
My arm's falling asleep.
I think we did okay. I think we made it through.
Nice work,
Nice work, man.
You're the
All right, all right.
All right, guys.
Say goodbye to the coyote.
The coyote. Wow, that was great. I loved having Enrique sit in on that.
That was pretty awesome.
That was fun.
I love having guests on the show. Takes the heat off. Takes the heat off of us.
All right. Question number 6. This comes from not Rachel the bear, because I'll get to you later.
Rachel left a monumental comment. Monumental. Rachel, my hat's
Rachel,
off to you.
We used to be friends. Now, not so much. Well, you're always in my good graces because of your name.
Rachel the bear. Okay,
right.
we'll grow up for a moment and answer a question.
Question number 6. This is from Holly.
Yep.
I can feel the obnoxious comments coming.
No.
I'm a little late about me.
Oh.
Not about her.
Okay.
I'm a little late, but hoping my question can still be answered.
Of course.
I have a 1.5-year-old pit puggle mix who's anxious and fearful.
Interesting.
Of people, dogs, and new places. Usually she'll run away, but lately has been growling and snipping at people, acting progressively more aggressive. I've tried to have her just sit in public and just watch people, and it's not helping. She does very good with my other 2 dogs and my boyfriend's dog, and is also sweet with people who come over. I'd love to be able to take her on a hike into the dog park instead of leaving her out, but I can't calm her anxiety. Is there any practice exercises I can do to make her comfortable and calm in public?
So an anxious, fearful, and she say,
uncomfortable in public around
has she
strangers.
bitten men, or is she just
snipping, growling?
Snipping?
Yeah.
That gets into some questionable
Yeah, that's
territory.
questionable.
What is snipping? We need to define that. Is blood involved with snipping? This is another great opportunity for my incredibly talented co-host to talk about work with prong e-collar baseline training and duration and all that good stuff. So I fed you a little bit of the stuff. But this is your secret surprise question number 2.
Okay.
You ready?
All right.
Did that hurt?
It actually did.
Really?
Because I work out.
I'm sorry. I'll be more gentle with you. I thought when you worked out, you got more robust.
No,
and like more...
it actually hurts to the touch.
Oh, okay. All right. So,
especially when you squeeze with all your might.
I didn't do that.
Maybe it wasn't all your might.
No.
Because you're a beefcake.
Okay.
Okay. Nervous dog being uncomfortable in public.
Yeah, pity puggle mix.
Okay. Holly,
I thought you were like texting Jeff Gellman.
No.
Jeff, I've got a tough question with a pity.
lifeline. No. So Holly, basically, there's a couple things here. So the obvious answer that you know we were going to say if you've watched the show, and anyone who watches the show all the time is probably fast forwarding through this question because they're going to say foundation work. Obviously, that's what it is. So we want the foundation work. We want you do a couple days of prong work. You can go to our free videos, thegooddog.net, go to videos, free how-to training videos, and you can work on place, structured walk, down, sit on a prong, do that for a few days, and then buy an Educator Mini e-collar 300, and then go to our videos, and our soon-to-be-our e-collar DVD is coming out.
Yep.
You can go to our videos, that same place as I told you before, and teach recall on the e-collar, which is good for like off-leash hiking, and also place and heel on the e-collar. Okay, so you do all that, you get your dog e-collar trained, you practice duration work in the house, doing place command. If the dog breaks, especially a nervous dog, you want to make sure it's non-negotiable, even if they're a sweet, loving dog. The more sweet, loving dog they are, the more nervous they are, the more you want to give them those structure and rules. So don't ease up on that. But the other part of this, so that's kind of like the obvious part. But the biggest,
Unless you don't know it.
Unless you don't know it,
Yeah.
of course. But I feel like 44 episodes, I feel sad.
Yeah, but some people are new. Some people
that's
are new.
true.
Yeah.
Holly, if you know. Okay, so definitely foundation training. Read Sean's blogs and talking about duration work and all that good stuff. Now, the other part of the equation is making sure that you honor your dog, which is something that we always talk to our clients about, is that if your dog isn't the type of social dog that can hang in a public place where they've got dogs running off leash everywhere, and if they could only be in, public places where people could approach them and other dogs could walk up to them and be stupid and they'd still be fine, you may just not have that dog. You know what I mean? So what we're really big on is advocating for the dog that you have. You can obviously do training to make your dog way better and make them way, more comfortable around you and show them, hey, I've got this. You don't need to worry about it. Don't nip at that person. Don't do that. You just chill. You sit down. You do your thing. But the reality is, if you have a nervous dog that is uncomfortable in public places, you need to really look at that and go, okay, am I taking her out in these public places? I'm not saying you're doing this, but am I taking her out in these public places because she wants it or because I want it? And if it's the latter, which sometimes, typically, normally, 100% of the time it is, we need to really look at that and say, okay, what am I going to do that's going to honor my dog, not just my needs and wants and what I think a dog should, do.
Yeah. At the same time, those are some great answers, and you're always awesome at just like rolling with it. Like
You see me roll.
I need notes, and you just roll.
No.
But is at the same time being mindful of wanting to stretch your dog's comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
So what Laura's saying is right on the money about honoring your dog, and if your dog is really terribly uncomfortable in these situations, then you have to really kind of discern where's the ceiling at, or maybe you don't know where the ceiling's at, but you start challenging your dog a bit.
Yeah.
But those challenges have to happen in small bite-sized pieces, and you slowly work on acclimating and desensitizing your dog to new situations. You don't throw them in the deep end of the pool. So yeah, we got to honor them, and then we've also got to see, like, is there room for growth? And sometimes that's not always an easy answer to know where that lies, and that's kind of the work on you as the owner, is to be sensitive to your dog and know, like, okay, we've definitely, like, that is a situation that my dog is not prepared for yet. So let's go back a step and let's try and create some more foundation, or let's create some slower desensitization or something like that, to where the dog can have a shot at being more successful at a more challenging scenario down the line.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, you want to push it, but you also want to see, like, why would I, if it is pushing it, you can see that there's, some limitations just fundamentally in your dog, and you'll know. That's the thing. A lot of owners, we talk to them, they're like, yeah, I know, she's just not a people person. Just like there's some people that just don't like to go to parties. some dogs same way. They
Yeah.
just don't want to. Just want to be with you. They want to structure.
And here's the thing: is that everything that Laura explained at the top of the question. So if because it's been a long answer, if you need to go back. But all of that stuff is what builds confidence, right? So when she talked about doing the prong work and the foundation work and the duration place, and then going to e-collar, all of that stuff isn't so you have a dog that does an awesome recall. Does an awesome recall and like you can impress your friends with sitting down. It's because the calm, relaxed, stress, anxiety-free state of mind that you can create with that allows a nervous, insecure dog to feel far more confident and stable in situations that they typically wouldn't feel. So that, like, everything she said, I want you to understand why she said it. She didn't just say it like as a dog trainer saying, here are the obedience commands you need to have because this is what the dog trainer lore says. There's some very, very, very practical reasons which we've seen over and over and over again working with dogs that are a wreck, how to get them more stable, and it's through everything that you just said. So
we use them as a bridge. We use all the training as a bridge. It's great, like practically, it looks kind of cool, but it really is more about...
That's the frosting,
yeah,
right? Like, oh, cool, my dog comes to me off leash. Great.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. Nice answer.
Thanks for backing me up with the smarts.
Got it, lady. You got it.
Look at our relationship's repairing. As
right, we're in front of the camera. We're coming back together.
It's unfolding.
It's so good to be back. I missed you so much.
I missed you too.
It's good. Okay.
All right.
Are you ready, Fancy Pants?
These are fancy pants,
I
aren't
know.
they? I like them. I
Come.
got them in 2 colors, like an old person. I'm like, well, these fit great.
Well, elastic waistband. We call those forgiving.
Forgiveness, remember?
Right.
Sean and I came up with a
This should be on
brand
camera.
pants.
This should be on camera, right?
Okay, go ahead.
So well, we used to take some pretty serious New Orleans adventures pretty regularly, and they involved, as a lot of New Orleans adventures involve, there might be some cocktails, and there might be a fair amount of greasy, untoward eating,
fair amount of fat eating.
Yeah, like beignets and red beans and rice and fried chicken and all this stuff. And we were, I remember we were walking down Bourbon Street and we were like, this would be a great, because that's where most great ideas come from, right? And I was like, man, what a great idea for a clothing line to be called Forgiveness, right? Forgiveness clothing line, because I think at the moment I was struggling with my pants a little bit because they weren't forgiving. And I was thinking, if you could build into pants like panels that could allow you room for growth, right? And then
room for growth sounds like personal development.
but it's good. It's a good way to present it, right? Because that has a good feel to it.
It has room for growth.
And so, anyways, so those I haven't launched that line. I haven't launched that line yet. But I don't want to hear about anybody stealing my clothing line.
Copyright's out there, so just try.
Yeah.
Just try it.
Stay away from there. All right.
Okay.
Anyways,
Question
ready?
number 7. This is from Rachel the Bear, because her middle name is The, and her last name is Bear. Now, Rachel,
She's put up with us for a long time.
I've loved you my whole life, but this question started with something that, I don't know, it's questionable in terms of our relationship.
She might need to come sit on this couch with us and work through it.
Rachel says, I have an update and a question. She starts nice.
Yeah.
Starts really easy.
It always does.
Thanks so much for your advice working with our GSD and Rescue BC. And then, like a kind Q&A-er, she puts in parentheses
For clarification purposes.
For Laura, that is not a boxer cub or a bear cub, but a border collie.
Uh-oh. There might not be a lot of trust in your acronym reading or initial reading of
I did it
canines.
once, just one GSP. I was one GSP away from a German Shepherd puppy, and the rest.
It was a legendary moment on the show,
legendary.
though. Yeah.
Rachel, I appreciate, but I wouldn't have assumed it was a bear cub. Though a boxer cub.
Perhaps. It was
right.
probably good that you did clarify with that.
I appreciate it, Rachel.
Okay.
But I also. All right. So, reached out to a few local trainers, but nobody does socialization, so decided to try on my own. Things are great in large part to all the information you guys and Jeff Gelman put out, working on muzzle conditioning, hence the question. We have our female GSD muzzle conditioned to where she's comfortable wearing the muzzle inside and outside, moving around other 2 dogs inside.
Yep.
When we move outside and she's presented with the situation that she's wearing the muzzle for, she frantically tries to get the muzzle off. Any level of excitement from the bear cub seems to trigger this uncomfortableness. What should I do? Does this mean she's not comfortable with the muzzle, or should I be giving her something else to replace the anxiety or something else? First time I have worked with a muzzle. Thanks for any help. Rachel.
Bear spray might help.
Bear spray.
Right? If that bear cub's getting aggressive, you can spray it from a pretty good distance, I hear. Okay, I wrote a few notes for you, Rachel the bear, just to make sure I get this right for you. So obviously the movement outside, so you sound like you've done good work with the muzzle conditioning because the dog's comfortable with the muzzle on in the house, with the muzzle on outside the house, but not comfortable with the muzzle on outside the house, and even with dogs around inside the house, but not comfortable when the border collie's around outside. So obviously there's some stress, tension, and distrust going on between the bear cub and the German Shepherd. So that puts us in a situation, right? So we've got the shepherd being uncomfortable and trying to get the muzzle off, which is he's obviously just kind of panicky and not feeling safe. So what I would do is a couple different options. We can put a leash or a long line on the border collie. We can also do the same thing if you've got someone to help you with the shepherd, and basically just slow everything down a little bit. I think if I'm the shepherd and I've got a muzzle on and a border collie comes outside that I'm not comfortable with, and it's moving around at a rapid clip and being kind of like, jittery and jumpy like a border collie would be or could be, I think that would make me really nervous. And I'm sure that once the border collie's outside, the border collie's behaving much different than it is inside. So, I'm getting some fresh air in here. Some light. So I would say take a look at just think about it from the just think about it from the shepherd's perspective, right? He's coming outside, he's compromised, he can't protect himself, and we've got this border collie outside that for whatever reason he's uncomfortable with, and once outside, the border collie starts to get more animated, more active, and the shepherd's getting more uncomfortable. So put a leash on the border collie, you can put a leash on the shepherd, you put a long line on both of them, and just manage the energy, right? What I would do is, with the shepherd, you could even put a prong collar on with a long line, and then if he starts to do any of that stuff, you can give him a little pop on the prong collar. I don't know if she's got them on e-collars or anything like that.
Rachel the bear?
Yeah.
I'm sure she does.
If she does, then I would go with e-collar, and I would just correct, I would just correct for any kind of trying to get the muzzle off with the e-collar. That's a better choice. I didn't know if she was on the e-collar. And I mean, if both dogs are on the e-collar, then chill them both out, right? So get the border collie to relax, put it in a downstay, let the shepherd see you've got control. If you don't have the border collie on an e-collar, then just have it on a long line or a leash or a prong and just get control of it. What makes dogs feel safe are when they see that there's someone who has control of the situation. When they feel unsafe is when things get chaotic, right? So remove the chaos factor, and then I think you'll see the shepherd being more comfortable. But that doesn't mean that initially he's not still going to have a panicky thing. Yeah. So you want to either correct with the e-collar and say knock that off, or have a line on him with the prong, or even on his flat, knock it off and get him to relax. But you're also going to have to manage that border collie. My suspicion is if you do those two things, even if you don't do them perfectly, but you just get the energy to a little bit more of a manageable, comfortable space, I think you'll find the shepherd will get to a spot where he'll let go of trying to fight that muzzle off, and he'll be in a better space and will feel more prepared to mingle. Now, he may never enjoy that border collie's company. I don't know where he's going to be with that, but that would be my strategy. Whenever we've got dogs we're bringing out with muzzles on, we have to make sure first that they're comfy with it, then we have to make sure that they don't try and get it off, and we keep a line on them, say knock that stuff off, and then we also have to manage the other dogs around them, because it's not fair if they're feeling overwhelmed and compromised to have a bunch of craziness going on around them. So did I cover it?
Yeah.
Did I get the answer? Do you want me to go back around one more time?
We love you, Rachel.
Rachel, I hope that helps. Let us clarify if there's anything that I didn't get to, and send us a little update and let us know how it goes. Should be easy. Just manage the energy levels, and I think the shepherd will feel better.
Good luck with the bear cub.
They're always dicey.
Question number 8. Question number 8 comes from what?
Almost sound like a fat bastard.
Oh, 8. Rhonda.
Question number 8.
Question number 8 comes from Rhonda. She says, please help. Please help with a rescue I've had 4 years who always barks at running horses, cows and dogs, squirrels, birds, unless I'm by her side.
Good Lord.
How do you stop one that won't bark unless you're out of reach?
Do you want to answer this one?
If only we had a tool.
Do you want to answer this
No,
question?
no, I've already had 2.
Okay, because you
Please.
could do 3 and you could
No.
make this set a precedent.
No.
Okay, so Laura is hinting at what would be the solution for this, which is just e-collar training, right? So your dog is savvy that when he's far enough away from you or she's far enough away from you, he can engage in whatever behavior he wants to. He's like
silliness.
having fun, barking, going crazy at all the barnyard animals. Sounds like the Noah's Arks out there. So, but if you would just do get an educator mini, you can get them off of Amazon. I think they're under $200. They're not super pricey. Check out our recall video. It's on our website, www.thegooddog.net. Watch the recall video, watch it a couple times, do some work on your dog, teach your dog recall, right? Just get your dog solid on recall, and what happens is the dog psychologically starts to realize that you have control of them at a distance.
Right.
You're going to see a lot of decision-making change just by your dog knowing that the long arm of the law can travel 100, 200, whatever. I think the mini is half a mile, something like that. So your dog should never be farther than that because you won't be able to see them. But when dogs realize, dogs are so smart, they know when you've got the leash in your hand, they know when you drop the leash, they know when the leash is on, they know when the leash is off, right? So they're super smart about all that stuff. The difference with the e-collar is it's the big bamboozle because there is no leash except it travels great distances, right? So once you teach your dog that you can start recalling and you have to go through the whole process, and you could probably have your dog e-collar trained for recall easy within a week where you're having pretty good stuff. Start on a long line, recall the dog back over and over and over again. Once the dog realizes, wow, mom can correct me at any distance, you're going to start to see massively different behavior. So you can recall away, and if the dog's just doing awesome already, great. But if the dog is being still a knucklehead at a distance, correct at a distance, and your dog's going to go, oh, whoa, man, I'm not allowed to bark at the cow, the dog, the sheep, the zebra, the giraffe, the whatever you guys have got out there. And then, if you need to, you can recall the dog back. But I really prefer not to just call him back. I really prefer to say, don't do that anymore. So you can be at a distance, your dog and you, and your dog does its best work and minds its manners. And because your dog, here's the thing, your dog can do better work. Your dog can use more impulse control.
You've seen it.
Your dog, right, but only when there's a sense of consequence, which is you being close enough to impede or inhibit that behavior. E-collar will do the same thing. So that is our recommendation for you, Miss Rhonda.
Thank you.
Man, we're moving through.
We
It's
are.
going to be a marathon one, right?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Enrique just ate up all of our time.
Enrique.
Like a coyote. He just took over.
Like a coyote. He hates us.
All right.
The earlier flight. All right. Question number 9. This is from Tyler. Tyler says, hi, Sean. We have a GSD that we adopted from the local shelter about 8 months ago. She came with big separation anxiety, reactivity, and pulling issues. We've been working on the foundation with prong and e-collar for 4 months now. The separation anxiety is pretty much resolved, but the reactivity towards other dogs continues to be a huge problem. We made progress 2 months ago by introducing the pet convincer, which got us to a state where we can keep her from blowing a gasket every time she sees a dog. It's in a manageable state, meaning we can keep her from completely losing it using corrections, but the progress has stopped. Currently, when we see another dog while walking, particularly if it barks, we have to continuously correct until we get past. We're talking heavy. We're talking the boss at 85 to 95. Anything less, she'll completely ignore and fly off the handle. It's the same with big prong corrections. It's almost impossible to give her a big enough correction to get her attention. We tried using the heel tap. For healing, she's much more responsive to correction, but we still have to correct often. I didn't expect that after 4 months of structured walking. Is there a next step we can try to kickstart the progress on reactivity and healing? Thanks for all the info. Would be lost without it. Wow.
I got to retire after this question. This is a hard one. Okay, so Tyler, we kind of answered this, and no diss because I picked the question. So, but we answered some of this stuff in previous questions here. So it'd be good that if you've already listened, you probably already heard some of the recommendations for this. So first thing I always want to go to whenever people are having to correct really high levels. First thing I want to check is like, what are you doing in the house? Are you doing any duration work in the house? Is your dog behaved like an immaculate citizen in the house? Or is your dog barking at windows and running amok and doing things like that? Now, you sound like you've been doing foundation work, so that's probably not the case, but I have to check in with that. Secondly, I want to make sure that you're doing the immaculate heel of all heels, because that makes your dog do the best mental work that your dog can do, and that makes sure that your dog's in a calm, relaxed state before you ever see the dogs. If there's any pushing, pulling against the position of heel that you're trying to get, and you're having to battle for it, that means that your dog's already in a slightly aroused, elevated state, which is already problematic. So when we work on reactivity, we don't go after dogs right away. And I know you're not just jumping in and going after dogs. You've been working at this for months, but I got to reiterate just in case there's anything you missed. So get that heel, in the absence of dogs, get that heel rocking. Get it so good to where your dog doesn't ever think. You slow down dramatically, your dog's like, vroom, right with you. Thresholds, you come right up to it and pause, your dog moves by it, bang. Big correction, small infraction. Your dog looks over at a dog for something nasty, that's when you hit him at 85 or 90 on the boss. Not when he's already exploding, not when things are already getting dicey. You got to catch the beginning of that sequence. You've got just a millimeter, you got like a millisecond of window to be able to get that information in when the brain can receive it and have the proper profound effect. And so you got to catch them super early with that. So that said, of course, we've talked also about using space, which I'm sure, once again, you talk about the foundation, so I'm assuming you know all that stuff. Using enough space to make sure you're not blowing your dog's mind. Let's see, what else do I have on here?
Can I interject?
Yeah, jump
one
in.
thing?
Jump in.
I mean, I have a feeling you've probably tried like we said earlier, those thresholds. I can just picture the shepherd now. We've had so many of these guys. They're just
nervy
stubborn and nervy. And But another thing, this is going to sound really basic, but...
Smack them on the rear.
Give a little smack? No. Contact. So if you have a really long furred shepherd and you're using a boss at 85, 95...
Smarty pants.
I'm telling you. Those thick fur contact points that they sell on ecollar.com, I wish I bought stock in them because I think they're amazing.
Yeah.
Every contact issue I used to have, trim the dog down.
Yeah, we used to have to shave dogs all the time.
Oh my gosh. And we would literally be like, oh, this was years back. Be like, this dog really works high. I don't know. We don't have any headroom. And then when we started using those thick fur, not the long fur, not the ones that look like normal contact points but are longer, I'm talking, they're called thick fur contact points, ecollar.com, and you nestle those in. Maybe you're already using them, but I can almost guarantee you if you've got a thick furred German Shepherd that's having trouble,
and working that high on the boss,
they're usually really reactive or really responsive to
they're
levels.
pretty sensitive.
So let's check that out too. Let's check out contact.
I think that's a great suggestion. Go to ecollar.com.
Yep.
And once again, thick fur contact points. They're metal, and they've got a tiny little tip on them, which helps them get through that thick fur stuff. And they really have, they really have been a lifesaver. A couple other things just to give you options to try. You can always do a step back recall, right? Which is something we don't use a lot of, but with some dogs it can be helpful, which is you're walking, dog sees another dog, and you've been practicing and you know that when you go for a big correction, your dog just explodes. You go, okay, this isn't working. Then step back, recall your dog back to you, then take a few steps forward, your dog alerts on the other dog, recall your dog back to you over and over again to where your dog's like, I can't really even engage in this mode of like wanting to get intense. So we don't do a ton of that, but I know a lot of trainers do use step back recall. So you can give it a shot and see if that helps you find a way to kind of manage the situation. Something else would be a dominant dog collar, and once again, we mentioned this earlier in this episode, that with dogs that are reactive, I was just using one on Cash, because Cash was giving us a lot of vocalizations and amping up from the prong and amping up from the e-collar. So went for a dominant dog collar, which is just a fitted slip collar that goes around the neck, clips, and stays up high, and then you attach a leash to it. And anytime he'd start to get nutty, just light pressure up, and he'd go, I don't like this so much, but it doesn't allow the dog to escalate. So that's another option. Like, you know, we talked about getting rid of prong for polar bear, so you could get rid of the prong and you could do a dominant dog collar and leash and e-collar, and then use the dominant dog collar. Once again, we're not hanging dogs. I don't want your dog's forelegs off the ground. I don't want anything like that. I just want pressure up and enough for your dog to de-escalate and go, ooh, I don't really like this.
No good.
And send us a video. That was the last thing I wrote down. Is that, like,
I'd love to see that video.
I'd love to see what's cooking, because sometimes if we get a peek at the video, we might see something that you're missing and we could really help you out with, and it might be something simple. So send us a video at thegooddog.la@gmail.com.
Yeah, and if you need to Dropbox it, just send a share folder and we'll figure that out.
Yeah. We'd love to help you out, and like I said, anybody else that wants to send us videos, they can, but it's so helpful for us to actually see what's going on versus like trying to interpret, you know, information like this. So sometimes it's hard to do, but those are all my best recommendations. Send us a video and then we can go from there. Cool? Thanks. Okay.
Guys, here he is. The one you've all been waiting for.
This guy, Mr. Nutty Guy.
It's hard to see him, but he's here, guys. He's here and he's ready to play.
Excellent.
For life.
I'm happy for you.
It's unbelievable.
You've been waiting for him for a long time. I'm so excited for you.
And it's fun to have Enrique here. No. Knock it off.
Knock it off. He's already in trouble.
He's already in trouble. All right.
Okay.
Question number 10. This comes from
Mother and daughter.
Mother and daughter, Sarah and Terry.
Two different questions.
They're two different questions, but we're going to do quick.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
They're from their blood relations, so they're pretty much the same person. Okay. First of all, Sarah says, hey guys, baby Baker, she's had a baby, is here and doing well. I'm still on bed rest and can't do much training with my personal dogs. They're getting very bratty, jumping up on my 4-year-old and whiny in their crates. I already implemented lots of duration work, and my husband has been taking them out for structured fetch time. Sadly, we don't have a treadmill. No seats. Any other suggestions until I can get on my feet and be working with them?
Any other suggestions, Cujo? Well, what I would suggest is, okay, so Sarah, it sounds like you guys are doing everything that you can right over there, right? I mean, like, sometimes life just gets in the way and we can't, like, always have everything be perfect with the dogs. What I'd say is e-collar on all these dogs for, you know, teaching them downtime, relax, and like quiet. Hey, like it's bed rest time. Mom needs to chill out. I need the dogs to be calm, and especially for all this brattiness, you know, they're all getting kooky. Get e-collars on these dogs and just like have them chill out. Yeah, maybe it's not the most fun time of their life, but hey, you got real life going on. You've got a baby you got to tend to. Yeah. Dogs need to learn to be able to adapt and hang tough and deal with sometimes not a perfect situation. Yeah. So when I go out of town, I'm gone for a couple of weeks, my dogs don't get the same exact situation, and they might get a little bit like, you know, stir crazy. It's like they have to learn to adapt to that. And so I'd say get e-collars on those dogs and get them like chilled out. So you can be chilled out and relax and enjoy your baby. Next is her mom's question, Terry.
Is from Terry, and Terry says,
who's a recent T3 grad.
Yes. She said, Bella, the dog I took to T3 in Dallas, gets excited when playing with another dog and will bark. It isn't a constant bark, just occasionally due to excitement.
Yep.
She's soft, and I don't want to use the e-collar in case it shuts her down and she stops playing, which I don't want. I just want the barking to stop. Any suggestions?
What do you think?
That's a tough one. You know, we with Belle barks like crazy when she plays, and it drives us nuts because we just want her to play, not like wake up the whole
I
neighborhood.
mean, sometimes I like it because I
yeah.
like her to provoke other dogs, but yeah, sometimes it's
But yeah,
a pain in the rear.
So I would either say you just deal with it, or you correct it at a low level. And it's also
Yeah, that's basically where I was going with it.
low level
Yeah,
correction.
yeah, I would say like I think it doesn't matter that the dog is soft. Just train the dog very soft on the e-collar, and then train the dog at very soft levels. When the arousal's getting a little too high, just give a little tap. Just a reminder, if you go too high, then the dog's not going to want to play and the dog's going to shut down. But like anytime we're dealing like with socialization stuff, and a dog is just being like a little bit overly aroused, you don't come down on them like a ton of bricks, because then you shut them down, they don't want to play. But if you just say, hey, just come down a little bit, tiny little pop on the e-collar, low level, start low and find the level that your dog goes, oh, I noticed that.
Right.
And it interrupts the flow and the dog kind of goes into a more chilled space. But there's no need for any big correction stuff, just tiny little low stuff. Just like a little,
Just, hey,
yeah.
attention.
That's what I'd go with.
Yeah.
So even
Cool.
even the soft dogs can do e-collar stuff. You just have to be, more sensitive with them.
Yep. Cool, guys.
Cool.
All right.
So is this it?
This is it.
This is it.
Big episode 44. Is that your age? No, you're older than that.
No, we've got a few episodes to catch up to before
When
we
I
get
met
to my
you,
age.
you were 43.
Yes.
It's like in Borat. He's like, this is my mother. She's the oldest woman in all of Kusik. She is 43.
She does some pretty awesome Borat impersonations. We'll have to get you up to some other ones. So no, it's not my age. I still have a few years, or we still have a few episodes before
Few
we catch me.
episodes to go.
Before we catch up to me.
Luckily, you look younger than me. You get carded more than me.
That's
so
not true.
It's very
That's
true.
not true. It's all these Q&A Saturdays that keep me
Keep
young.
you young?
Yep. So guys, we've got DVD, book, Cujo, phone consults if anybody needs any help. Cujo's now answering the phone, and he's got a variety of expertise and answers that he can help you with.
Just say foundation work like we will.
But seriously, if you guys do need help with any of this stuff, like
yeah.
step by step, phone consults are a great way to do it, and we can walk you through. We have a pretty good success rate with dogs, or with humans and dogs, that need help with, like, okay, so here's, like, I need specific, walk me through. So you can grab us through our website or through email with that, and that's always posted on the YouTube thing, right?
Yep.
So that's it, guys. Make sure you give your dogs what they need. Right approach, right tools. Love them by leading them, right? Our little catchphrase. And things should be good. And we will catch you guys
next.
next.
We'll catch you on the flip. We'll see you next week. And we love you very much, and we love hearing from you, updates and all that stuff. So keep it coming.
Yeah. And did you show Cujo's brick?
Oh, I did on the photo already, but we'll do it at the
Okay, because we got another special gift in the mail
insane.
from somebody very, very sweet.
I already thanked her.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
On video?
No, we'll do it
Okay,
on video.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, so thanks for watching. Sorry, don't want to scare you.
No biting.
No bites. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week, and keep the questions coming.
Yep.
We appreciate you. We love you. See you soon. Bye.